Question in the back.
And remember, state your name and who you're with.
Okay. Mike Ewell with Energy Justice Network, and I was in a meeting with Matty Stanislaus, the head of waste issues at EPA, just about a week or two ago. And one of the issues that we pressed him on was this idea that incineration is above landfilling in their own hierarchy, which has been a serious problem for those of us running incinerators. He actually said in that meeting that he agreed that they need to revisit the hierarchy and that he doesn't think incineration belongs in it at all. And I was shocked to hear that. So I think there's going to be some follow-up necessary to make sure that we get their hierarchy to look as close to the one that I'm working with Gary to revise, like kind of merge the new ZWIA hierarchy with the one that I developed, and kind of we were meeting on that last night, and we're pretty much on the same page on that. So I have a question and a shameless plug. The question is, on these zero waste certifications for zero waste to landfill or zero landfilling, what can be done to call out the fact that that's ridiculous and impossible? I mean, it's basically a way of saying we're going to burn the stuff instead, and incinerators require landfills for their ash. So unless they're doing something less responsible than incineration and putting ash in a landfill, but actually putting ash onto a road base or something that has generally been a failure, then it's not even zero waste to landfill. So it's not even what it purports to be, nor is it a good idea. So we need to make sure that those certification programs are just eliminated because they're total greenwashing. So that's my question. My shameless plug is that I've been asked to do an ad hoc workshop at 5 p.m. today on why incineration is bad. We're going to meet by the registration desk. If anyone's interested, spread the word and check it out.
So I'm not going to repeat that question because that was a long one. But just to clarify, with our certification, we're zero waste to landfill incineration in the environment. So as we move forward in our next phases, we're really going to be addressing no waste to the environment, which is a huge issue. And there's been a lot of really great discussion with the businesses that they do understand that sometimes when they send things to waste to energy, that ash actually goes back to landfill, so they're not zero waste to landfill even. So that's where our job is, to really go and not just look at what's happening at the facility, but look at all the providers and look at all their facilities. So it's definitely on our radar. We love that Toyota did put landfill incineration at the on the same level, and he put the environment at the bottom, which to me is still the most important because the environment is our bodies, our children, our environment. So we're really pleased with that.
And I'd just like to underscore that if you saw what I said about the ANSI standard, we had that very discussion with the folks that were champions of zero waste to landfill, which was UL Environment, at a UL nonprofit ANSI standard meeting. And the outcome was UL Environment's zero waste to landfill was not embraced. We came up with a zero waste standard as the idea with 3 components: landfill free, landfill and incinerator free, and net zero waste. The landfill and incinerator free gives the clarity that a number of the members of the panel wanted to have clearly articulated, and having the incinerator free as a second category was to be clear that that was an opportunity to do even more than just landfill free. And then the net zero waste was intended to provide for even a broader discussion like we've launched here today with US ZWBC.
If I can quickly respond to that. If there were 2 standards, it should be incinerator free and incinerator and landfill free, because there is no such thing as landfill free.
Next question.
Any other questions? Right in front.
Hi, Sue from Sue from IKEA Burbank. We are not allowed to do anything other than trash any bedding that is sent back to us, even if the package is just ripped open so they can feel the material, and we have to trash it. Do you guys have any suggestions about how we can change that?
Well, it's an education internally, and I think it's getting them to think, train everybody in zero waste. But going upstream to reuse, so St. Vincent de Paul, they have this amazing program. They would love, so it's kind of like food donation. You're giving it to this nonprofit, your release of liability. We have to talk a few names on it anywhere, but there's opportunities. They actually take old mattresses, disassemble them, make new mattresses. Another really great thing is they're taking the stuffing and making kitty beds and dog beds. So,
But what I'm saying is, it's either California law that I'm not sure about, or it's an IKEA policy not to do anything to pass it on.
well, that's what we hope is IKEA will want to get, will be motivated by seeing all these big companies do this, and then we'll need to do that, and then we can show them how much money's being lost, because even though they don't make money from donation, that can be counted as a donation.
Oh, sure.
So I think, our job at US Zero Waste is to come together with you and bring in our partners and bring in our resources and our best practices and sit down and have conversations and then do that peer-to-peer networking.
Yeah, I'll just share one thing that the four cornerstones of the IKEA business plan for this year are sustainability was the fourth cornerstone. For FY14, it's the third cornerstone.
Nice job.
Yeah.
Other questions?
Barbara Wolf, City of Oxnard, as a local agency, it would be nice to say, hey, this business is zero waste. Here's an example of things that are, being done right. But I was just thinking about what you said, like, for example, Toyota, it's a facility. So that doesn't mean that Toyota businesses in our city are necessarily zero waste. So I was just wondering how that would all tie in, or
Well, it would be fully disclosed on our website, and it's just like a LEED building. When you get your plaque for your building, it says specifically what building it is on the website. That's kind of have to be our marketing and quality control, that who's doing that. But what I think is great is these businesses we're working with, their goal is to get all their facilities and challenge each other and everything. So.
So if it was a Vaughn, for example, Vaughn's, how would we know if?
You would go to our
community?
website,
Okay.
and they would be
Yeah,
listed.
It's listed,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And they'd have a plaque.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would have an actual plaque in their facility. Yeah,
And a
but
very big PR campaign.
and a very big PR campaign. You would know if you were in your town.
Okay. Thank you.
Ferris Kawar, City of Burbank. I hear the examples of Ricoh and Toyota, saving millions of dollars. But, when I'm talking to smaller businesses or a chamber of commerce, I want to find examples of businesses going zero waste and saving money that's a little bit more accessible to them as, very small or mid-sized businesses. Do you have examples to point me to?
Yes, and I just want to, we're trying to be a sustainable nonprofit, so our first goal is the, kind of medium to large businesses, but we do have examples, and then I'll let Sue answer. And I'm an example, I'm a small business, I'm zero waste.
That one that I talked about with the recycling is very small. It's not in California, but it's in Georgia, which is even worse. But they're very, very small, and the problem is not everyone knows how to manage their program, or left hand and right hand don't know who's paying the trash versus who's not paying the trash. This company that I went into, literally on day one, was not, they were generating 75 bales of cardboard a week out of an auto tie industrial baler and not making a penny, because someone else did an agreement that says, if you repair this, you won't have to write me a check. Okay, how many of us would allow somebody to do that on our car or anything like that? And I just went in and I was the enemy, and I changed their whole world around because they didn't get to keep their check and the sales guy didn't get his bonus. Too darn bad.
I'd also like to highlight the zero waste zones are a great place to look. San Francisco is now a zero waste city, but they're also developing at the Pier 39 a zero waste zone where they have, I think it was over 100 businesses working towards zero waste. I'm not sure if they're all there. Leslie Lukash is staffing support for that effort, so you could touch base with her. Holly Elmore in Atlanta was the spark plug that got the zero waste zone concept going for Atlanta. Again, it was all the downtown businesses, bars, restaurants, and the same type of groups that you're talking about that really pushed to have this happen, along with the big hotels and convention center, all pulled together, got a composting program working, and that, so there's lots of examples there on the ground. Kane Coffee is one that's been a speaker before at Stephanie's also executive director of the Earth Resource Foundation. She did 5 conferences before we launched this organization on zero waste businesses. Those PowerPoints are still posted at earthresource.org/zero-waste. And there are a number of smaller businesses presentations like Kane Coffee that can be found on Earth Resource website. What we highlight is small businesses, large businesses, electronic, organic, everything, every type of business can be and are zero waste. It's just a question of working through the details.
We have time for a couple more questions, and then if the panel's okay, we can keep going. There's not any, well,
I think there's that.
There's a break.
in
We can go
between,
over.
so we can kind of keep going, but I want to kind of get as many questions as we can.